Today I will discuss about methods of investigation. Those are two methods, deductive method, inductive method. Deductive method is from general to particular. General to particular or universal to individual. Individual. Whereas inductive method is from particular to general or from individual to universal. Deductive method is also known as abstract, analytical, hypothetical, or a priori method, whereas inductive method is known as concrete method, historical method, or realistic method. Inductive method is a realistic method. Deductive method is not a realistic method. Deductive method involves four steps, that is selecting the problem, formulating the assumptions, formulating the hypothesis, verifying the hypothesis. Four steps. Deduction method involves four steps, namely selecting the problem, formulating the assumptions, formulating the hypothesis, verifying the hypothesis. Induction method In induction method, economic generalizations are on the basis of experiments and observations. Experiments will be done and observations will be taken. So this is called as realistic method. Whereas in the case of deductive methods, experiments will not be conducted, observations will not be taken. So it is not a realistic method. Economics is a science or an art. Economics is a science or an art. Science. Under science, it is a systematized body of knowledge in which the facts are so arranged they speak for themselves. So it is called as economics is called as science. Art. Economics is also called as art because it lays down percepts. It has formulas also, whereas formulas are useful to guide the people. Formulas are useful to guide the people to reach their goals. So, economics is science as well as art. So, economics is science as well as an art. Economics is a positive science, positive economics and normative economics. Positive economics related to the what is. Normative economics related to the what ought to be. Positive economics without any value judgment, without any judgment. In this, moral judgment is involved. In normative economics, moral judgment is involved. In this, any judgment is not involved. In case of positive economics, it is related to objective type. It is related to subjective type. Positive economics is related to objective type. Normative economics is related to subjective type. Suppose demand increases, price rises. Demand increases, that leads to rise in the price. It comes under positive economics. Whereas rising prices, increase in the prices leads to social evil or social ruin. Increase in the prices leads to social evil. That comes under normative economics. Now we have learned about methods of investigation. Economics is science as well as art, and what is the positive economics, what is the normative economics. Now we will discuss about branches of agricultural economics. So many branches are there, but we will discuss main branches. Those are agricultural production economics, farm management, agricultural finance, and agricultural marketing. Let we will see about agricultural production economics. It is defined as applied field of science. Agricultural production is defined as applied field of science wherein the principles of the choice are applied to the factors. Economics. In economics, four factors of the production are there. Those factors are very important. Those are land, labor, capital, and management. Land, labor, capital, and management. Goals. to provide the guidance to the farmers, to provide the guidance to the farmers using their resources most effectively. He has a limited or scarce resources. How he has to use these scarce resources most effectively or most efficiently. Most efficient use of resources from the standing point of the economy to facilitate the individual farmers, that is scarce resources are there now, you have to use those scarce resources in more efficient way from the standing point of the economy. Objectives. What are the objectives of agricultural production economics? To determine the conditions which give the optimum use. To determine the conditions which give the optimum use of that factors, that is land, labor and management for the in the production of crops and livestock. In the production of crops and livestock. To determine the what extent the existing use of resources are deviating from the optimum use. Two types of resources used there: optimum use of the resources and existing use of resources. How the existing use of resources are deviates from the optimum use of resources. To analyze the forces. To analyze the forces which condition existing the production pattern and resource use. Resource use means input size and production pattern related to output side. To analyze the forces, related to production pattern and resource use. Means and methods. To explain means and methods getting from the existing use to optimum use of resources. Means and methods from the existing use of resources to optimum use of resources. Farm management. The science which deals with organization and operation of the farm in the context of efficiency, and continuous profits. It is given by J.N. Jefferson. The science that deals with organization and operation of the farm in the context of efficiency and continuous profits. This is given by J.N. Jefferson. We have to see, we have to observe what are the objectives of farm management. Objectives: to examine the production pattern and resource use. Production pattern is related to output side, resource is related to input side. To examine. Second one is to identify the factors. First one is to examine. Second one is to identify the factors for responsible for present production pattern and resource use. To examine production pattern and resource use and to identify the factors for the present production pattern and resource use. Third one is determine the conditions. To determine the conditions. Optimality of the resource use and production pattern. Optimality of the resource use and production pattern. To analyze the what extent suboptimality of the resource use. To analyze, whereas existing use of the resources are there, optimum use of the resources are there. To analyze what extent suboptimality of the resource use from the existing use of the resources. So, to suggest the ways and means. Ways and means. This is in the case of uh, agricultural production also we have studied. Ways and means in getting the present use of resources, that is existing use of the resources, to the optimality of the farm, to the suboptimality or optimum use of the farm. Agricultural finance. We have discussed about agricultural production economics and agricultural farm management. Now we are discussing about agricultural finance. It is mainly related to money matters. That means studying, analyzing, examining the financial aspects related to a farm business. It is mainly related to money matters and it is the nothing but the studying, examining, analyzing the financial aspects related to farm business. It is the core sector or central sector of the country. It is very important sector or core sector of the country. The financial aspects of the money matters relating to the production of agricultural products. Relating to the production of agricultural products. Two types of the finances are there. Microfinance, macrofinance. Micro means small, macro means large. That means microfinance is related to individual farm business units. Microfinance is related to individual farm business units. It is related to agriculture as a whole in the economy. It is related to agriculture as a whole in the economy. Microfinance is related to individual farmer. Individual farmers. He will get the credit from the different sources of different sources. You will get the credit from the or borrowed the credit from the different sources. How we will get? How the individual farmer will get credit from the different sources of credit? It comes under microfinance. It related to the aggregates. Financial aspects related to the aggregates that comes under macrofinance. After getting the credit from the various sources, how he has to allocate, how the farmer has to allocate credit among the alternative uses. Among the alternative uses is comes under microfinance. Whereas macrofinance, lending, borrowing are rules, regulations, controlling, monitoring, lending, borrowing, rules, regulations, controlling, monitoring, all are the of different agricultural institutions comes under macrofinance. Money matters related to different agricultural institutions are comes under macrofinance. Need for agricultural finance. In India, only limited farmers are comes under large farmers or big farmers. Most of the farmers are small and marginal farmers, whereas they have not capacity to invest the agriculture. Small and marginal farmers have now capacity to invest in agriculture. So there is need for agricultural finance. They get finance from the different sources. That is most of the farmers. Those are small and marginal farmers are get the finance from the different sources. They this finance is useful for to buy the seeds, fertilizers, irrigation machinery, which is useful to do intercultivation operations. So there is a need for finance. Agricultural marketing. The term agricultural marketing implies selling of goods and services by the farmers. Selling and selling of goods and services by the farmers. It includes various functions, whereas agricultural marketing includes various functions such as assembling, transportation, storing, buying, selling, standardization, grading, processing, sales promotion. Assembling means we have to assemble the agricultural product at a one place. Transportation. We will buy the product or produce from the farmer. We have to transport from the farmer to consumer by using different vehicles, tractors, trucks, vans, etc. Storing. We have to store the produce for some times. This storing is mainly useful for to deliver that produce at needed time. Buying. Buying means consumer will buy the produce from the farmer. Sell. Farmer will sell the produce to consumer. Standardization. It is very important one. Standardization means grading the produce based on their size, shape, or sweetness, ripeness, their quality. That means all the similar qualities are separated into one lot. That means same similar qualities or similar shape are separated into one lot, and second grade one or second quality one is separated into another lot, like this. Grading is also similar to standardization. Grading is also similar to standardization. This is the part of the standardization. Grading is the part of the standardization. Processing. That means it is very useful. Nowadays, processing is very useful. In olden days, it is not much useful, but now technology is developed, so processing is very useful. Sorry, consumers are preferring processing products because they have the added value. They change the form. The processing will change the raw form to added form. Sales promotion. All this comes under agricultural marketing. What is the importance of agricultural marketing? What is the importance of agricultural marketing? Agricultural marketing is useful to increase the production. Useful to increase the production. Thereby, availability of the goods and services to consumer will increase. Marketing is useful to increase the production. By increasing the production, the availability of the goods and services is increased to consumers. The demand for goods is also increased. The demand for goods and services also increased. This increased production leads to demand for inputs also. The increased production leads to demand for inputs also. Demands for inputs also increasing. So there is a need to strengthen the input marketing also. So there is a need to strengthen the input market also. Today I have discussed about methods of economic investigation. Economics is a science as well as art, positive science, normative science. After that, what are the branches of the agricultural economics? Main branches, that is agricultural production economics, farm management, agricultural finance, and agricultural marketing. Thank you. If you like this video, please share and subscribe. Don't forget to comment also. Thank you.